Now, for more on this, let's bring in Peng in Beijing. Xia is co-founder of Zhuomo Cultural Media Company. So tell us about some of the new trends and services in overseas summer camps for Chinese students.
Hello, Michelle. Related to the new trend, I think there are more opportunities for Chinese students to go to the US to experience the so-called summer school. Because right now there's a trend that the top-tier high school students tend to apply for the top universities in the US, and they would compete for the quota, same with American students. So they tended to go to the summer school, improve their academic studies, as well as get well prepared for the AP curriculum and to meet the admission officer. This is one of the new trend. And also there will be new trend, for example, like to participate in some scientific summer camp in order to conduct several experiments in the laboratories. And also there will be some UN models. Students learn to study the leadership, negotiation skills, and the international relationships. And also one more thing interested in China is that they have the so-called sex education summer camp that will give students something they cannot learn from the public school.
Now, how has the price range for these camps changed in recent years, being that there's so many different kinds available?
Yes, of course, it's keep going up because right now the high-end Chinese consumers, the number of them is actually growing. And of course, this is a consumption upgrade, of course, that will bring the high-end customers not only focus in Chinese market, but also they would like to have a taste, have an experience in the foreign market.
Now, what about the related business opportunities?
And the price goes like 40% up.
Let's also look at some of the related business opportunities that come with this summer camp space. Which are some of the industries that are cashing in?
Well, first of all, there are some US companies and also organizations who would like to explore the Chinese market, and they establish their offices and branches in China to promote their product. That's one thing. And second is those tutoring giant in China. They also would like to build the partnership with the US, some very famous summer camps, so that those Chinese tutor groups, they know the local market, they have their students, and can directly send their students to the US to make some extra money. So that's also an opportunity. But the third I would like to bring up is about the flipped classroom. By saying the flipped classroom, meaning that you use the online technology, not only focusing on the experience of the offline summer camp, but also there will be some online courses and also virtual reality technology as well, which means that students can experience the foreign campsite when they are still at home. And also when they return back to China, they still would have some follow-up studies to do to keep them contacted and related so that the retention rate would be high in the future.
So with so much competition in this space, what are some of the ways that these companies and universities are trying to appeal to Chinese students?
Well, first of all, it's all about academic study. You know, Chinese students, they tend to be crazy about those academic studies and exams. So a lot of American universities and high schools will provide them with some learning experience that is very similar to the US universities, while this kind of environment is rather rare in China. And second, they also advocate the language learning experience because we know in learning a language, you always try to study it with the native speaker, try to put it to use in the real scenario, rather than you learn from the textbook. So I think these are the two major points those American universities and companies are selling their products in China.
Now, obviously, students have their range of options to pick from in terms of companies and regions. Which ones, as you look ahead, do you think will be the most popular, and how much growth potential is there?
Well, of course, US and also the countries that you've mentioned, some European countries, UK and Australia, will still be the major market that Chinese students would like to go for. Because one thing is to learn about the culture, and second, I think most of them are actually preparing for their future studies abroad to have a first experience rather than just staying at home and to learn from those documentaries and from the textbooks. So I still would like to think there will be huge potential for those major markets. But as well, there's some marginal markets as well. For example, Africa. One of my friend's children actually went to South Africa to participate a kind of like a safari outing. And in their experience, they also participate some UNESCO's program. And this will be also counted as one of their extracurricular activities when they apply in U.S. schools. So I think the marginal market still has a potential, yeah.
All right, thanks to Peng, co-founder of Zhuomo Cultural Media Company.